green makes business sense. It is not sustainability versus profitability. To be sustainable and profitable, I think when the green is, when of course when I say green, it's ecological sustainability. To be profitable, I think sustainability is also one of the excellent route. I think both go hand in hand. Okay, so that's the theme or main message of my presentation. Having said this, let me actually run through with certain examples how certain things are happening in the industry at a macro level. First, this is coming from the Green Business Center, which is where I come from, and we are here in promoting green technologies across the country. I will talk about this center later on. The main message: there are several green trends that are happening in the country which are very encouraging. The first trend is in terms of green buildings. Green buildings are becoming a way of life. This was a movement which was initiated in the year 2001-2003, and at that time, none of us believed that Indian construction industry is the most, at that time, 2000-2001, you will find only few number of balance sheets. Today we have at least 100 or 200 balance sheets. At that time, it is only few. The people thought Indian construction industry can never be green. It is only in Europe and US can achieve the international green standards. Second, the perception was the green buildings are going to be very costly. It's going to be 50% more, 100% more, and green is only for Europe and US. That was the predominant mindset. This was a predominant mindset in many of the Indian construction industry. So we wanted to trigger the green building movement, and a lot of thoughts went in. How do we really trigger the movement? So the first part and first strategy that we adopted was, and this was the main strategy of Cabinet Secretary Godrej, and we said, you guys are going to teach green. Before you teach green, first let's practice green. Let's see for ourselves whether the green buildings are technically feasible, whether the financial value. That's the point which we want to have. So this was the first building which was done in the year, completed in the year 2003, and when it was completed in November, this achieved the prestigious platinum rating of US Green Building Council. Okay, many fellows thought that platinum, oh, this guy Raghuvari is mad, he's gone crazy. Why is attempting? Just let him construct some green building. That was the thought. But we are very fortunate we had the platinum. And it so happened, it was not the intention, but it so happened, it became the greenest building in the world at that point of time, in the year 2003. India was holding the world record for 2 years, 2003 to 2005. May, this building was holding the world record as per the LEED standard. And some other building came up in US. But what's the most important point? The most important point was what was started as one building became 1,900 buildings. In fact, we celebrated 2,000 buildings this year. It is 2,700 buildings are going for Green India. And if you combine all the 2,000 green building projects, the total square feet is about 1.39 billion square feet, which we understand is the second largest in the world. India is number 2 in terms of the green building footprint. So it was very, very significant contribution by the construction community. So in other words, what drove this movement? What exactly is happening? Several people were opposing green in the year 2003 to 2005, but now there is some transformation taking place. Why a lot of people are interested in green? Why they are aggressively investing in green? So these are the type of questions one might pose. Fundamentally, there are very strong business case for green buildings. The first major case was it has got huge energy saving. Something like 30 to 40% is a typical energy saving for a green building. And green buildings, energy saving alone accounts for 90% or 95% of financial results. Second, it has got about 40 to 50% water saving. Unfortunately, water is missing. Many people in India do not pay for water. So this is difficult to take it to the balance sheet. But energy saving is the one that you pay the electricity bill, so immediately it impacts the balance sheet. And if you take an incremental cost of a green building, today it's about 5%, I will again go into details. The energy saving alone, if you take into consideration, the 5% incremental investment is paid back within 3 years' time. So it's a strong business case, and that's what Pradeep says. Okay, we have a strong business case, it's the wrong thing not to do this. Okay. Another interesting point, this is, there are several intangible benefits which completely outweigh even the energy savings. One is in a green building, is completely designed with daylight. And you have to really believe it and really occupy a green building to see what is the impact of daylight. And if you get used to daylight, it's very difficult to work in any other space. Yeah. Okay, the second thing is, any green building is designed for with excellent use. If you take a typical office building or a government building, only the minister's room will have an excellent view outside, or a CEO will have an excellent view outside. 90% of the people will be facing another colleague or a partition building. A green building will have excellent view. See, this place is another way. In a green building parlance, no, this got sophisticated air conditioning, everything is fine, well lit, temperatures are maintained. In green building parlance, what we say, this is a sophisticated jail. Because you do not have any option except to listen to us or probably it goes on. If you have a natural view outside, you will be able to see and relax for some time and come back. The third important point, this is also probably you right now experiencing. Okay. And many times it happens in theatre. You go to the theatre, initially you are fresh, and within 1.5 hours you become very tired. And immediately you play the film. And here in this auditorium, you're going to blame all of us for giving the speech. Okay. It is because of accumulation of carbon dioxide inside and the poor ventilation pattern. And I'm sure this building is also having the same problem. In a green building, we have a carbon dioxide sensor. It continuously measures the carbon dioxide and doesn't allow the carbon dioxide level to cross 800 parts per million. If anything goes above 1000, people have a tendency to have a headache, nauseating effect. In a green building, it continuously monitors, and the moment the system tries to go above 800 parts per million, more amount of fresh air is pumped into the system. So you are always fresh. So imagine a place you have excellent views outside, you have a daylight, and you have excellent carbon dioxide control, and the air is always fresh. And such a place makes the person extremely comfortable, and the research and documents are clearly proven that the increase in productivity is in the order of about 10 to 16%, averaging around 14% across the world. Imagine you are a software company, 65% of the cost goes to the salary of people, and your productivity increases, say 2%. The payback period for a green building is less than a month. So, in other words, any IT, that's the reason many of the IT companies have built a policy that every building that they will do will be a green building. So, in other words, green building makes tremendous business sense. And how do you go? You have chosen the green building because you want to pursue sustainability or you want to have profitability, whatever it is, you have done both, you have achieved both. So that's the key message that I might say. So see how the energy savings have, sorry. Yeah.
What is the reference?
Reference please?
When you say 30% of energy saving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's reference to a conventional building. Suppose you have a conventional ASHRAE standard building, okay, and you construct a green building, it will have a 30 to 40% energy savings when compared to a conventional building. Yeah.
But it's the norms of conventional buildings, the norms of the Indian law?
No, Indian law should be even worse than this. It is based on ASHRAE latest standard. So when compared to ASHRAE latest, so ASHRAE gives the American Society of Heating and Ventilation India, gives the minimum standard of building. So if you are below that standard, you don't even get a green certification. So first you have to meet the norm and you have to beat the norm by 10%, 20%. You cross by 30%, you get about 8 points. If you cross by 40%, you get about 10 points. So typically a platinum rated building is 40% above the norm. And a typical Indian building, most of the Indian buildings constructed in the year 2003 to 2005, you'll find about 30% minus the norm. So in compared to 2003 to 2005 building, you are now talking about 60% savings, 65% savings.
Thank you.
So these are the type of energy savings that are actually achieved. 40%, 45%, and our building achieved about 63% energy savings. And these are the actual figures with reference to reference point. So typically, these are the figures for a million square feet of a green building. These are the type of savings. And just for the sake of time, I'm quickly running through some of the slides. You have energy savings, your water savings, your energy savings, directly reflection of carbon dioxide savings. Okay, and what amount of waste that is avoided, which is instead of going to landfill, you are recycling the product. So these are the type of benefits that we have. Then this is the actual cost of a green building. When we did the first building, in the year 2003, that was more of a trial and error. We wanted to see what is the technical feasibility of it. The intention was not a financial feasibility. The first one, it was 18%, and then it came down to 15%. This was the second building. Then we are talking about a level of somewhere around 2 to 3% for a platinum rated building. platinum rated building is the highest standard. We are talking about these are the actual recordings of the numbers. So in other words, the cost trends are like this. When we did the first one, it was 80% more. Today we are average, we are talking about 85%. Average figures. If you take an average of say about 200 buildings, it's working about 85% more. And what we anticipate in future by about 2050, it will be somewhere around 1 to 2%. And 1 to 2% is something very, very insignificant. One need not have to bother about it also. Many times it's because of the green or because of the gold design, I don't know. But it is possible. But in other words, what I'm trying to say is, on one side the cost is going down, another side there is a tremendous value for green building is going up because of energy savings and other benefits. It's a clearly win-win situation for both the owner of the building as well as the occupant of the building. Now, having said this, you see, there is tremendous impact, other impacts on the market, what we call as market transformation. You see one product, this is what is called a waterless urinal, men's toilet has this waterless urinal. It doesn't require water for flushing. You save about 30% on the building's water consumption by this simple technique. And the original cost of this product was something like 15,000 to 16,000 rupees, Indian rupees. Today it is being sold at 4,000 rupees. Previously, in 2005, it was able to sell only about 5,000 pieces or 3,000 pieces. Today it's selling in terms of 100,000 pieces of this waterless urinal. So the economy of scale has increased, so you are able to drop the product, it drops down. So the customer is a win-win situation for the customer, and he has got more choice because the 3 or 4 companies now supplying this item. So it's a win-win for the economy, for the supplier also who makes this product. He is making much more profit right now by selling this waterless urinal at a lower price. So in other words, what I am saying is market transformation. Market. See, whether you like it or not, India is going to grow and India is going to have thousands of buildings. What you are trying to do is the market transformation is instead of constructing as a conventional building, you are trying to convert it as a green building. So that way you are transforming the market from a conventional building to a green building. That's the point you are trying to say. Now, you see the green hospitals. The green hospital is also a green building. It saves energy, it saves water. But there is one very interesting concept which you realize. Believe it or not, green hospitals has improved patient recovery statistics. One interesting survey done in Scandinavian country, they analyzed the room A, which has a view of another wall like this, and room B, which has a view of nature. When I say view of nature, it can be water, it can be green, it can be a greenery also. Interesting, irrespective of the skill of the doctor or the operation that was done or nature of the health problem, the room B, which had a view of nature, had 30% faster patient recovery. So that means the patient, when he is attached to nature, his confidence level goes up. He is able to recover himself faster. So green therapy also works. So in fact, this is the reason that many of the green hospitals now coming up in Bombay and Coimbatore also, they are trying to have gardens at the -2 level. -2 level. It is possible to bring the sunlight in solar pipes. Like how you have got optic fiber, you can have a solar pipe also. Light can come into the -2 levels. So green hospitals are also coming up, and this is the type of concept that is coming in the system. This is only in case of construction buildings. The lead has got a lot of ideas in terms of operation also. Okay, operation, not the patient operation, operation of the building. Okay. So in other words, friends, green concept has got different values. It's very important to understand the values and communicate that value. That's also very important. So when you communicate the value, then automatically the negative fellows who are thinking that there is no money, actually they see value and they would like to invest. Look about the green cities. Now instead of talking about one building as green, why not have the entire city as green? Okay, having the entire city as green is fantastic. You save 50% of the cost of infrastructure in our sector, almost 50% cost in terms of water sector. So you see the city like Bombay. This is a typical example. Bombay, to some extent Bangalore. All the office areas are in the center of the city. Residential areas, because one cannot afford the cost, so it goes far away. Okay, and every day has to commute 1 hour, either in a train or a car or bus, whatever it may be. So 1 hour of valuable time is lost, and while returning, another 1 hour is lost. And you create a massive traffic jam also in the process. Now the city concept is, the green city concept is, you develop 5 acres, 10 acres, no problem. In that 10 acres, you have office area, this is the office area, and residential area adjacent to each other. You just, what you need to do, at 9 o'clock, you just walk down to work. And even at 5 o'clock, in fact, you walk down, you don't use the lift, that's exercise for you. Okay. Then again you return. I said you completely decongested the city or partially decongested the city. And India being a service industry, when a lot of service opportunities are there, a lot of IT companies are there, this concept can easily work. With the manufacturing companies, just some complications are there. Now coming back, the concept of office and residential space accessible to each other can make a big difference. Let me quickly go to other point. This is a point we're talking about companies. Now, so far we have talked about buildings. Now we are talking about companies. Companies also going green. And it's a combination of green image plus combination of real value. So both go hand in hand. First, yeah. Now, what are the drivers for green? Fundamentally, we are talking of world-class energy efficiency. This is the best in the world in terms of energy consumption. It's best in terms of water consumption. You are completely avoid waste. You have completely low material utilization as a raw material. You see the toxicity of the product. You minimize the toxicity of the product. You are cleaning the entire supply chain. So this is the focus of the green. This is the green code that has been a new service, new rating system that has been launched by CII. This is first of its kind in the world. Nobody else has done it in the world. CII has launched this activity. Right now, about 50 projects are running as a pilot exercise. By probably end of this year, we'll have a more detailed version of this one. You see some of the examples. These are the companies who have achieved this gold rate. This is a company, ITC Bajaj, this is a cement company, this is a foundry company, and these are the other companies which have got the initial rating, and there are another 40 companies in the various stages of the pipeline. So this is another example of what I call a paper company. This is Sivakumar also mentioned in the morning. This is actually the eucalyptus trees which are the sites, and the agricultural production is taking place. And there is an additional benefit for farmers. In other words, green and sustainability can increase the income, and they have taken care of the complete raw material security of the company. They do not, previously they were dependent on the forest, and forest, is not now no longer existing now. So they have to have their own raw material now. So they have generated their own raw material, and they have achieved at a reasonable price also. And for a farming community, they are able to get about 2,000 to 2,500 rupees per ton of goods sold. So it's a win-win situation for farmer as well as the company. So you see another company, cement company. Cement company, believe it or not, in company in locations like Germany and Japan, the amount of profit made is not made on cement. It is made on firing waste. Other man's waste, the people pay for the waste, and he makes more profit by firing the waste rather than making cement. So in the case of India, somehow the policy issues are standing in between. This company, ACC, has taken the lead. He has gone ahead and acquired the waste from several companies and using them as a product. And this is how the company makes more money this way. The last sequence of slides I just like to run through. You see the cities. Cities are concrete jungle. Probably the exception might be one location here at Bangalore. But you see many cities you have problem. Okay, or just 100 meters away, you see this location. What we need in the city is a 30% green space. 30% green space means improved health resources. And how do we create a green space in the city where it's already a concrete jungle? That's the challenge we have. So the next marketing and the next issue which you are having is to have a green roof. Okay, having a green roof, whatever concrete surface you have, it's covered as green. Then not only green on the top surface, but you can have all the vertical space also green. You have vertical gardens. Okay, how to cover an ugly building? This is the easiest way to do. How to cover an ugly flyover? This is the easiest way to do. Okay, so theoretically possible to have more than 100%. You have the roof also green, sides also green. More than 100% can be green. Second thing is, nothing is wasted. Perfectly possible. Believe it or not, this is an actual example from Bangalore. It is happening on the second floor of the house, and all the wastewater coming from the toilet is treated, and the entire urea is fully effectively used for paddy cultivation. This is the second floor of a house in Bangalore. Okay, the future trend is going to be to have garden inside the house. Tomorrow, when 5 years from now, you are going to have the same seminar, you are going to have a variety of plants. Okay, a lot of guys have got a problem of asthma. Yes, these set of plants will control the asthma or give you the comfort. This will eliminate the dust, this will eliminate the toxicity. So these are the trends that are happening now, and we in CI are highly aggressively promoting this. And many of the companies are going for green space, and they are now making it a policy that at least 50%, 70% will be the green space. And not only the side, but on the top and inside also in the sea. So these are friends that what we wanted to say. Thank you. Thanks for listening.